This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off, visit squarespace.com/idlethumbs and enter the offer code THUMBS at checkout. And this episode is brought to you by Loot Crate, a subscription service for gamers that delivers licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. And you can use the promo code THUMBS at lootcrate.com/thumbs for 10% off your first Loot Crate. P is for Podsture and placenta and poopy pants.
P is for every word that you shouldn't say. P is for podcast. It's May 14th, 2014.
This is Idle Thumbs 158. I'm Chris Remo. Thanks, guys.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
And I'm Sean Vanneman.
This is a lauded episode.
Quite lauded.
It's quite lauded. Let's spend a long time introducing ourselves without actually saying who we are, and then get into some stuff.
We're going to need your cell phone
I can't tell if
because
that
I
means-
need to ask you what version of Watch Dogs you're going to buy.
You need my cell phone to ask that?
Well, because for you to understand how to choose which version of Watch Dogs you're going to buy, you're going to need to look at quite the rubric.
Have you seen this, Jake?
No.
Oh my god. You need to go to like the Watch Dogs Wikipedia page and just click on
Hopefully
release.
it shows up on the mobile version. So basically, to explain this, Sean sent me a message today and he's like, there's something I want to talk about on the podcast, but I don't know if you can communicate it without visuals. And he sent me a link and I clicked on it, and it is a table that shows you
Wait a minute.
like all of the content that is available in every single shipping SKU of Watch Dogs. It's like a matrix that you can cross-reference like the additional Jake is like freaking out right now. It shows all the possible content that exists in this game and then which version of the game you have to buy in order to get that. But, like,
We have to just read the two axes of this graph.
I know.
You don't need to see it, but you're
going.
just... Okay, so across the top, we have... the first column is the list of features, and then it's all of the editions of Watch Dogs. So we have features, then we have the Standard Edition, the ANZ Special Edition, the Special Edition, the Vigilante Edition, the Uplay Exclusive Edition, the Limited Edition, the DeadSec Edition, the Digital Deluxe Edition, the Uplay Deluxe Edition, the Gold Edition, and the Season Pass. And it's also worth pointing out the Season Pass does not actually include everything. But then features that you can or can't get are exclusivity to different regions. So
Right. There's certain versions you have to buy depending on
game
where you
disc,
live.
digital download, and
like
then we have
ANZ is Australia, New Zealand only.
Yeah.
That includes things.
but then we have you can get the White Hat Pack, the Breakthrough Pack, the Palace Pack, the Signature Shot Pack, Untouchable Pack, Cyberpunk Pack, Bloom Agent Pack, DeadSec Pack. DeadSec Pack is a bad 90s band. Chicago South
off.
Club Pack, T-Bone's single player campaign DLC, Conspiracy Mode digital trip DLC, Watch Dogs Map of Chicago, exclusive packaging, original soundtrack, Aiden Pierce's iconic cap, Aiden Pierce's vigilante
iconic cap. That's my like actually underground music project.
Agent Pierce's vigilante vest. So, okay, Steelbook, 23 centimeter parentheses 9-inch Aiden Pierce figurine,
You gotta slow
art book,
down.
augmented. Well, this is where we're getting. This is now like the radio ad where it's like, Watch Dog Map Chicago, exclusive packaging,
Yeah,
original
yeah.
soundtrack, Aiden Pierce's iconic cap, Steelbook, 9-inch Aiden Pierce figurine may not be available in all editions. Available only in Special Edition, Vigilante Edition, Uplay Edition.
Available only in New Zealand.
Like, yeah.
Hold on.
God.
Slow down.
Anyway, you want me to...
Art book, 4
Yeah.
augmented reality cards, and three exclusive badges. And 3 exclusive badges.
How many
There's also exclusive
features?
GameStop pre-order content.
So all those things, how many are there of the various features?
How many total features?
Yeah.
Not including the things that are like basic, like game disc and digital download. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There's 19 or 20.
Yeah, a little more than 20.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
What edition would I get?
And there's 11 different editions.
If I was interested in the Cyberpunk
The Cyberpunk pack? Well,
Cyberpunk pack, and I lived in Europe, and I was going to get it digitally, what would I have to get?
You'd have to get,
you have to get the Uplay exclusive edition?
You'd have to, or the deluxe, the digital deluxe edition,
Okay.
or gold from the PlayStation Store.
Or
I want
season
all-
pass.
That comes. It has to get season pass if I get the gold on the PlayStation.
or
I'm not
season pass,
clear
that's
what that
it.
means with season pass. Yeah,
Season pass, that could just be a like.
I guess season pass just adds it.
It's like the big DLC pack, but season pass does not
Get
include.
the Chicago South Club pack.
It does not include his iconic hat. His iconic hat is only available in the DedSec edition for Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Australia, and as well as some other regional releases. So that iconic
ordered-
hat.
Well, no, that's the only one. That's the only one it's available in.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, his vigilante mask is available in those regions, but also the limited edition only in North America. But not the DedSec edition, or Christ Almighty, or the special edition. Not
This is actually a stealth Kickstarter campaign. That's what's actually going on here.
Man.
Yeah.
What's funny is I was ordering that computer earlier for Paolo, and I had a graphics card in our cart, and it was coming with Watch Dogs, which was kind of making me excited. That I was like, oh yeah, cool. This graphics card's going to come with Watch Dogs. And then now I realize that it probably wouldn't even get past the start. Would I get that vigilante mask? Probably not. Would it even have the game? I guess I'd be able to like walk around Chicago, but I wouldn't have any guns or
Well, do you know what version you're getting?
UI.
Because like
I don't know. I think it's probably just the.
this kind of thing.
If you want the white hat pack, it's only on PlayStation in most regions, unless
No,
you
this
get
was
the
definitely
Uplay
a
Deluxe
this was a
edition,
PC edition.
digital deluxe, the white hat pack.
How many of those are any of those offers like related only to their retailer? Like, oh, you can only get this one at Best Buy.
It mentions that there is a GameStop pre-order exclusive
one.
poster.
Okay.
Unclear of that.
Not interested in that.
Anyway, I feel like game reviews should only actually be buyer's guides that tell people whether or not they should buy games, because
Well,
then
also,
you get a 4-page magazine feature.
If you
about
think you're
this.
going to write an objective review without playing all of these different versions, you're
That's
fucking
true.
you're a fucking liar.
bias?
You are biased.
Do you have the 3 exclusive badges? I need to know. This influences my purchasing decision. Note that the 3 exclusive badges are only available in the DedSec edition, so I hope that you have
Which
a
is
reviewer
only
in the Middle
Europe,
East or Europe
Asia, and
is
Australia.
playing, and who you can compare against.
Meanwhile, Transistor comes out in a week, and
just
they're
buy
like,
it.
pay $10 more for the soundtrack because we know the music's going to be real good.
If I buy it through a GameStop kiosk card, can I upgrade to the soundtrack? I don't actually know if they're offering GameStop kiosk. So you
have to be able to.
You got a little excited to buy Watch_Dogs, but then I'm really curious
I
about this
thought
game.
they
I'll
gave
look it up
up
on
on
Wikipedia.
Uplay. I thought Uplay was gone now.
Maybe Uplay is just an exclusive content distribution network.
Maybe it's now just the phrase they use to distinguish certain like retail.
Uplay is
packaging
actually their
SKUs.
internal algorithm for generating that chart.
This is terrible. How does anyone
It's
know
not good.
which of these like DLC
They
packs
know because this
are
Wikipedia.
good?
Oh, which ones are good? Nah, Chris.
Because it's
Is there
such,
anything else that
it's so
does this?
scattershot.
There's like special edition and deluxe
No.
edition DVDs.
Absolutely,
Yeah, but
nothing
But
does
it's always
this.
way after the fact, the
Nothing
release of the
does this.
film.
Because these are integrated
Music never does
directly
it.
into the content of the game.
music does it
Nothing
a little
is
bit,
like
but it's
this.
never to this degree where you'll get like
Like a
sometimes
couple
when it's
bonus
when an
tracks.
album
an
comes
album
out,
will come
yeah.
out and there's a couple
Some
B-sides you
music
can get on
videos.
iTunes and you won't get them on Amazon. You'll get something else. But it's never.
But it's
this-
never.
But it's not
This-
like exclusive instrument mixed in, like
right, and it's
exclusive
never
guitar
difficult to
tone.
delineate what like the core chunk of content is.
Exactly.
You're always
Right.
like, oh, the album is really these 12
The album
songs.
is this,
That's
and
the
then there's some
intent.
bonus
That's
tracks.
the
Yes,
yeah.
right.
You can still assume that there's.
Can you go on?
Okay, if you buy the standard edition.
Does that mean like go to the store and?
Oh my god! The standard edition includes the game, but if you buy the PlayStation version, it has the white hat pack, and Xbox standard edition doesn't. So good. I guess Watch Dogs Prime is just buying Watch Dogs on a retail disc for the
For
Xbox
Xbox,
360.
yeah, or PC.
Well, actually, the reason I was going to seg us into.
You're going to talk about Kinect
of course. How did you get ahead of me that fast?
because we're talking about the Xbox, and this is the week of Kinect, the Kinect Rising. Sorry, no. This is the week where choice rules. Choice rules all over the fucking place this week. Look at that Watchdog pre-order chart.
Where else does choice rule?
Choice rules on the Xbox One.
Is that a thing? Is that
You
a
can
phrase?
choose. Gamers can choose whether or not they want to connect.
As of
Oh,
today.
that's true. That's true.
Did you guys? Okay, so by the time this podcast comes out, that news will be not new, I guess.
Well, it'll be tomorrow.
I guess
tomorrow.
it's a day later, but you
I mean,
guys,
this is
today.
news to somebody listening to this, I suspect.
the Watch Dogs
yeah.
pre-order matrix, or
that and the
the
Kinect
Kinect.
stuff. This is all new
So
to
at least
somebody.
one person.
so you can, as of now, or the next time shipments go out, I guess, or sometime if I was a journalist, I would know. Microsoft announced that they will start shipping Xbox Ones that don't include a Kinect built in. And they're
Like, what did you want?
they're positioning it. Did you guys watch the video?
No, there's a video?
The video is really
Or
depressing.
there's a video
now
to
you
announce
now you
no
get to share
Kinect?
news with us.
Yeah, I want to know what the video
Yeah,
is.
the video is just various Microsoft internal hardware team leads who all clearly have had a camera pointed at them and who have to say, well, we're really excited about the choice that we can now offer gamers where they, if some gamers aren't ready for Kinect or they'd prefer to just have the base system, they can. And then like it has like the slow, well-lit pan of the guys like, of course, we'll, those gamers will be missing out on their face being identified and on voice commands, such as the ability to snap to a channel. And, just listing every, like, they won't be able to sit in front of their Xbox and have it recognize them, but it's a choice that a gamer can make to not have a Kinect. Of course, we will still continue to develop new Kinect features such as this, and this, but the system is now available without a Kinect because we think that choice is important, and you guys have all been telling us that what you value in a system is the ability to choose.
It's cheaper.
Yeah,
It doesn't have this thing I'm never going to use.
Yeah,
That's so I'm not.
that's
Go ahead.
true, but also the last time that Microsoft did this, I feel like it.
You mean with the hard drive? What are you talking about?
When the Xbox 360 was positioned as the console where the hard drive is an integral part of it, and then they said, we could probably ship one without the hard drive,
Yeah.
and I feel like that probably actually was really bad for that platform.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the difference is every single game developer wants and needs access to a fucking hard drive.
Right.
Whereas no one really needs Kinect access.
Yeah,
to make their
that's
game.
totally true. It's just, it feels like a backpedal and a cost-cutting measure in the name of choice in the exact same way the hard drive
Yeah.
did. In this
Well,
case,
you've gotta
in
go
this case,
spin it some way.
obviously
the
is.
Kinect has already become like the vestigial organ of the Xbox
Yeah,
One, so it's
but
way more
that's
fair.
fine with me though. Like,
Yeah.
I was really put off by the fact that like I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I don't have an Xbox One, but part of the reason I was kind of turned off by it, like Nick and I have
There's one looking at you right there.
well, I know this is not where I live, but like Nick and I have
But it knows your face.
have a PS4 in our house, but like one of the reasons I think he got the PS4 before the Xbox One was just like it just seems more
You
straightforward.
didn't want the camera
like,
with the motion sensor on it?
it's just weird. It's like, why do I need that to turn on my video game
I know.
console?
It's funny that the Xbox One early commercials for the Kinect like showed off that it had a little motor in it, but that just made it seem like it probably was bad
Yeah, I
timing
mean,
to
I'm
have
in-
a little camera go and focus on you.
I'm up
at
on
the same
robot
time as
news.
NSA
I don't want
is
It's like
Right.
Edward
That's shit in
Snowden
my-
was
Yes,
like
yeah.
living in the Moscow
Edward
airport.
Snowden leaking
Also, it's
terabytes of
$100
documents.
cheaper.
Yeah.
It's 25% cheaper than it was before, and the only thing that they're removing is this thing that nobody cares about. And what's funny to me, well, most people don't care about it. And so the thing that cracked me up today, the way I found out that the Kinect was going away was by just like, that's how I find out about most video game related things at this point, probably you guys as well, is just like the ambient chatter from Twitter.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing about it is that it all took the tone of like when a celebrity that we've all kind of forgotten about because they were just old, like passes away. And suddenly people who've never mentioned this person ever are like, really going to miss this person. Like that's what all the Kinect things. It's like, oh, it's nice that Microsoft is giving this choice, but like, I always really believed in the Kinect. Like I always really thought it could be used for something great. Like that was the tone I saw in everyone talking about this today. I'm like, what are you talking about? This
Right,
is the
that's
most
where you-
forced eulogizing
I feel like
I've ever.
if Janine Garofalo died.
Whoa.
You'd be I'm just trying to think of
Oh.
somebody who's like I haven't heard of in a while who I liked a little, like
Yeah, that's different though.
like I said, she's a little young.
Well, that and also
yeah.
like, I like Janine Garofalo a lot more than I like the Kinect.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan.
well, that's fine. But if I had to rank them,
Just trying to think of somebody.
This is potentially
like if Gilbert Gottfried died.
Yeah, I was there too. Then we had mentioned Gilbert Gottfried a few pods back.
Were someone to make a eulogy montage for the Xbox One, but the Gilbert Gottfried equivalent, it would have like the parrot from Aladdin and probably like his USA Up All Night TV commercial, and then like oh, I remember those things.
And
That guy.
Problem
yeah.
Child. please.
I would not include problem
even know
child.
what
Are you
is.
mental? Ugh.
Especially not in the Xbox One Kinect eulogy.
Okay.
Milo is the problem child of Kinect. Like literally, not figuratively. So the thing that was interesting about Microsoft cutting the hard drive from the 360 is they said the hard drive is the huge feature of 360, but then what started happening, it feels like, was downloadable games started taking off. And when downloadable games started taking off, they were small. So I think Microsoft said, wow, we're seeing a lot of money from these really tiny footprint games, and we can cut a lot of hardware, and they'll still be able to play all the things that are making money. And then right when the hard drive got cut was like within...
Buy Red Dead Redemption digitally or whatever.
It was that, but it was within like a 6-month window of them also saying, you know what, Xbox Live Arcade developers, you don't need to sit in a 150 megabyte footprint anymore.
Yeah, because that was untenable.
700, 800, 900 megabyte footprint. And then they're like, I'm sure that those two conversations were happening at two different Microsoft divisions who just like went, it's just like a slow motion, just
that was
two
disastrous.
18-wheelers crashed into each other at like 3,000 frames a second. So now what I can only secretly hope, only from a bad things happening train wreck standpoint, is that just the most amazing killer app for Kinect comes out in the next like 3 months.
Somebody at MGS is working on like the 4 gamers Kinect,
right? Where it's just
voice activated, like psychological.
Someone in another room
fucking
read me,
amazing.
like, I solved it. I got Kinect. This is amazing. Like everyone who plays thinks it's the just as they whip pan over to the security camera where you see the Kinects rolling off the assembly line into a dumpster instead of into the box. Like what are we doing?
Into the flame,
right,
like into the incinerator from Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
they're just refilling the Atari landfill that they just excavated with Kinects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a just like shitty like gift of the Magi situation where the Kinect is being put in the fire, but then like weird, they're like, oh, we found that extra space in the box for the Xbox One, and we've put the like Minority Report augmented reality gloves there. You need Kinect to use them. Like other Microsoft project that assumes
What, they fit in like they roll into a tube.
Yeah, they roll into a little tube that packs into the same spot. Like, oh, damn it. We thought we just had this space here. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully there's just... I mean, I don't hope that's the case. I don't really care about
you
the
do not
Kinect
hope,
either
but you would also...
It would be
you would be entertained.
cosmically amusing.
Yeah, you'd be amused.
Yeah, I would be amused. I would be... But, yeah. I don't know. Games.
You punch yourself in the leg like that when you're excited about something. That's your tell. So you can't play poker.
Sorry. Okay.
Fold.
Yeah. It just... I did not know about that Watch Dogs matrix. But yeah, choice rules now in games.
Of course it does. Always
Games
has,
are
always
about
will.
choice. Well,
Always
yeah.
will.
That's...
It's because
Watch Dogs
they're not a passive medium, dude.
Watch Dogs is, for me, is like the collectively kind of the poster child for AAA game promises to be something different, cut to is more of the same than you could ever possibly imagine.
Right.
Like, I forget if we talked about this last week.
We did a little.
Not.
We didn't talk about it on the podcast. We talked about it in the office.
Oh, okay. Like
how like this game is supposed to be like this like sedate like NSA style thriller where you're like it's really almost a commentary on surveillance culture. Smash cut to 1900.
Smash cut to Watch Dogs jerking someone off in a rest stop.
What?
It's like the politician who crusades for clean morals.
I thought that was a showstopper.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I guess the podcast is over. Fuck. I don't have to record this again.
Lost it.
Thought we had 25 minutes of okay material.
No, it's the
I get it.
It's the Leland Yee is like video game violence is terrible. Anyway, I'll actually
it's the Minnesota senator in the
Yeah.
bathroom with the wide stance.
Yes.
I get it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. No.
Sorry, that leap was one too far for the old Watch Dogs analogy.
One is not the number I would choose.
Fine, but the leaps required were
I thought
numerous.
that the presentation of it in that manner would surprise you enough that you wanted to hear more.
I was surprised.
I was definitely
the
surprised.
explanation for that joke is only available in Australia and New Zealand. Oh, man, we'll be here all week, I guess, on this fucking...
Oh, fortunately, we will not. Fortunately, we're done in an hour.
I was going to say smash cut to like spider mechs and that purchase
and like
chart.
Angry man with gun.
Yeah.
Like classic angsty, angry...
What?
What?
I'm really confused as to what you guys are talking
That's
about.
what's
now.
actually
That's what
in the game.
in that game. Fucking Spider Mechs and like just
I see.
classic like
Right.
Yeah.
like torture.
Like when I saw the first stuff, it was
gun
like you're
guy
moving through a
protagonist.
city, you're like listening into
yeah, that's-
conversations, you're like doing, but seems to just be high tech espionage. And even if that's fictionalized in sci-fi, like whatever, if it's like in the
it's
service
totally
of
interesting,
tonally,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's like with the first
It is not.
the first trailer for the second Captain America movie was just like ominous conspiratorial narration by Robert
Yeah.
Redford and cuts of him looking out of like 70s government buildings. And the second trailer was just hovering aircraft carriers exploding into each other.
Yeah.
And then the movie was admittedly both, and I liked it a lot. But like,
Comic book movies are just like those style of movies these days seem to always do that. They seem to put out like their,
Well, it's 'cause
like,
their first
and also
trailer-
now
it's
games are
because
doing
they
it.
all-
their first
The
trailer is
enigmatic
this is
first
what's
trailer.
different about it, and then but it's actually
Right. I think
Right.
the reason they
'Cause
both do
Transformers
it
did
is
that
because
too.
they both, in both cases, I think they want to feel and want to make you feel that like, oh man, this one's a cut above. Like this one is like really going for something real here. But like what you really want is this. So we're
Yeah.
gonna like pay lip service to this and then
Yeah.
give you a fucking ton of
Well,
that.
that Moby Dick game, the whatever. Remember when we were at the VGAs and they showed that trailer for the news, like going to be the new Metal Gear game, but it was just like that guy in a VA hospital, like
Oh,
trying
right.
to escape,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah.
Termination,
yeah.
and it looked amazing. And then we all realized, oh no, it's just a new Metal
Oh
Gear
no,
game.
the title card got 10% more cheeky, and you're like, okay, thanks, Kojima. I see. Okay, I see it.
Ugh.
So yeah, that trailer like bait and switch, and then like Sean just linking me to that Wikipedia page and me clicking it and it just exploding into just this like multicolor bonanza of capitalism. Like whatever. I mean, selling people things is great, fine, but like just the way that they're modulating it is so beyond human comprehension.
What's funny is I bet a lot of games these days are like that. It was just they're probably 20% more intense with it, Ubisoft. So it deserves.
that is just how games are. That's what I mean. Like that is just what happens now.
Yeah.
This just, but
Like it's not. I don't think it would be unfair to think this is criticism or just leveling at Watch Dogs.
no, it's just in comparison to. They never promised this game wouldn't have wacky exclusive shit. So I mean, I'm kind of
Right.
that part. Obviously, I'm like speaking more in
Hope
general
as opposed
yeah,
to
but like oh, it's a cool because I forget about that stuff because I don't spend as much time as listeners of this podcast know. Like I don't spend as much time these days like going out and buying $60 AAA games. Part of the reason for that is the exact thing I'm talking about. Like because you do, and it's like okay, it's another game about this shit. And there's like 18 different SKUs, and like, am I getting the real game? But I don't even want to think about. I just don't even want to think about.
The thing that's worth remembering about this too is with this many SKUs and this many features, I suspect also the majority of people don't think about it because
that's why this works.
Well, it's just the reason that most of this actually exists is so the publisher can have higher sell through to different venues because they can say GameStop.
For sure.
At your version of the game. Yeah, I mean, I know you know that, but I don't know if a lot of people know that. Like, it's not, like, complaining about this is not, like, complaining about customers being stupid or something. So much of this is just...
No, I know. I mean, I'm not
saying it in rebuttal to you, sorry.
Yeah.
He's just making it clear.
It's interesting, like, you could think that maybe it's, like, when there were only 2 or 3 of these, it was very easy to level the argument. Like, this is just a double dip or a triple dip. They're trying to upsell people. But when there's 12 different SKUs with 20 different feature sets available, it's clear that there's no actual way for a customer to optimize their purchase.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's entirely about what gets the most sell through to Australian distributors, what gets the most sell through to...
It's fundamentally different than...
How do you get more marketing buy on Uplay or on...
It's fundamentally different than saying, like, here's the special edition. That's the one you like want to buy if you're a super fan.
Right.
Like it's...
Well, that's like the counterexample you gave, Sean, of Transistor plus soundtrack. Like, exactly, if you like Supergiant and you love the music in Bastion, that's a notable, easy, just... You're probably already coming in knowing what you're getting.
It's a customer-facing configuration rather than a buyer. Buyer meaning like retail buyer.
Yeah, it's so strange. I mean, it's not strange, but it's odd.
It just is exhausting to me, though, and I understand that it's like not meant to be parsed by me. Right. But I still see it's there. The internet exists now, so I can see it on Wikipedia.
I know.
It's not hidden from me.
Whenever I buy a retail game like this, I just sort of like just close my eyes and just.
I was just going to say
and then just buy whatever it is.
You have to just turn your brain off to it, which just makes the entire process so much less enjoyable.
Right.
And you don't like walk home being like, I have the game. You
Right.
just walk
I mean,
back and,
if I actually,
and I'm like,
if I actually were to buy this game, I would just go on Steam and I would probably at this point just buy the cheapest one.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Well, because you're
But,
at
like,
least getting the top left-hand corner of that giant spreadsheet.
The one that's the most
then that
most
ends up
Watch
having to
Dogs.
just like historically be like the thing that is the product of record, right?
Right,
Like we
that's-
need fuck if this is like how do we even begin to keep saying that this is like that games are some sort of like fictional statement or like anything? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like how can a critic take their lives seriously when this shit exists?
That's the
like,
thing that makes it so frustrating is that both creation and criticism are concerned with like evaluating what is actually there
Right.
and what is not there. Those things are so like both so important on in the creative process.
But when you look at
and
that
in
chart,
critical
there's no way
evaluation.
to delineate what's there and what's not there. It's
right,
all just sort
exactly.
of
It's this big mushy just like matrix.
right. It's
of
not
just-
not there. That's pretty much what my takeaway is from
It's
looking
because
at that chart.
with this much of a flowchart, it actually just requires a communal, rigorous shakedown and distillation, so that eventually, if there's enough sort of core content amongst all this stuff in Watch Dogs that sort of communally deserves merit, it will probably end up being a canonical pack of this stuff.
That's true,
but that's
but it
not.
does-
That's not like it doesn't map
But
to
now you're just
what intent
basically
was.
shipping your game as like three Star Wars movies plus 10 of the novels, and then like we'll figure it out later.
Right.
Which is, I
I'm
guess
not
what
saying-
has happened.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
good or bad.
No,
it's
I know.
probably bad.
Yes, but the thing the result of the thing you're describing is that it essentially takes minute creative decisions off the hook entirely.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that matters is like this just like kind of big bag of shit that's like basically overall it's like fun or not. Like, but
Right.
you know what I mean? But as far as like like actually drilling down into like what does this choice mean? What is this choice? Like is this like additive? Like is this his cap, like the fucking cap he wears in an actual like work of creative intent, like of any kind, the thing the character wears is a super significant choice because it's on the screen.
This is his
a
iconic
lot.
cap, so we have to assume that it's
But
important.
you see what I mean? Like that's a major choice you make. Like if a production designer or a costume designer in a film, when they choose like what's the thing that's on the character's head for 2 hours, that's like a really significant choice. But you see what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying in this game it inherently is. I'm just saying
Right.
it should be allowed to be. But like,
Right.
in this case, it can't be.
I think that's the actual argument is that even if it wanted to be, it could not be now.
Exactly.
Like I think that's a really like astute way of putting it, as opposed to the game is bad because the hat doesn't.
No,
mean
I'm not
anything.
saying it makes it bad.
Right.
I'm just saying like you're just taking off the table
The opportunity is
potential
lost.
for
Yeah.
people to consider that stuff seriously. Like it's
But it also makes me wonder, like not to use an idle thumbs phrase, not to puff up our buddies, but like, is there a secret Minerva's Den in that chart?
Right,
Is
you
it actually
can't
just
tell.
like the
That's
chunk
actually-
of content that like some
that just
guy
makes
toiled
it
away on that's
fascinating.
really
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
think that's actually
with like a small team. Like,
absolutely. And I
yeah.
think that's a super valuable. I can't go into details about this, but like with respect, like we were talking about at work about stuff this week about like sometimes the most interesting content in the game is not the thing on the critical path. It's the thing that's like tucked away that you just come across because maybe a level designer or a writer or someone like had a cool idea and they stuck the thing in there.
game. Sorry.
And like, and a lot of times that stuff is like way more resonant than the main actual story thread.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how the fuck do we know if like one out of the 18 different sub DLCs here doesn't include something like that? And like, I'm just,
But it's
never-
really uplifting to be the creative content generator behind that, like the lead designer. But that's really uplifting to be like, guys, actually, the white hat pack is sick. Like it's really good. It's kind of based upon like Foucault's Panopticon, and like it's going to be really.
It turns
sick.
out when you wear his iconic hat, a secret C plot thread about his personal identity is unlocked across the entire game that no one will really know about because you can only get the iconic hat into things.
But like, so I mean, there's the iconic hat, and then there's like all
Maybe
this
that hat's
DLC
magic.
content that's presumably actual stuff, right? Like maybe not. But like Chicago South Club, like is that a place? I don't know.
People probably know that, and who are not us. But someone who just walks into the store and tries to buy this stuff is going to have no
I
fucking
love
clue
that there
what it
is. I love that. I hope the white hat pack actually has a white hat in it. I assume that's like a reference to like benevolent hackers, but like hopefully that's just an alternative to the iconic cap. It's like, do you prefer the white hat
The
or
white
the
hat pack
iconic
is in fact
cap?
white variants of all other hats in the game. Yeah, it's
You can only the true game is only unlocked when you have the intersection of the white hat pack and the iconic cap, which unlocks the exclusive white iconic cap.
I think it's also fair and clear to point out that we obviously don't know anything about the specifics of any of these DLCs. But again, with 20 packs and 10 SKUs, who should be reasonably expected to?
Exactly.
0 people.
Yep.
You are free to self-educate about all of this stuff. But if this is what's on offer, a conversation like this seems justifiable. Sorry, I realized that we're saying we're just
Well, that's why I wanted.
Rooneying wildly.
No. That's why I wanted to distinguish between like declaring what choices are important and saying that some choices should be allowed to be important. And this mentality just makes that almost impossible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Want to take a
games-
break? That was a
Yeah,
good
let's
note.
take
All right,
a
let's take a
break.
break.
Oh, the Wii U port has been delayed to fourth quarter 2014. But who knows what it will include.
If it comes with one Luigi cap for your
Buy it.
guy,
That's it.
yeah, I was
That's
gonna
it.
say
All I need.
all sins forgiven.
Man, fiscal year of Luigi. What a disaster.
Oh my! Whoa! Luigi really screwed the
Hundreds
pooch.
of millions of dollars lost.
400.
I cannot say that it's Luigi's fault in good conscience. I think Luigi's the fucking fall guy, right? Come on. Seriously.
That's true. When it didn't get, let's remember, it didn't get declared as the year of Luigi until several months into the year.
It's the fiscal year of Luigi.
Follow
though.
the money.
Yeah, the money starts with an
But you
M.
don't think they saw this coming? You don't think there was a chart that went duh, duh, and then projected
Exactly, right.
Oh,
projected
this is totally-
dotted line
That's what I'm saying.
It's
with
like
Luigi's
the,
face
That's exactly
at the
what I'm
bottom of it?
Yeah, this is very much. Yeah, the chart was going down, and they're like,
Shit.
Luigi.
It's your time in the sun.
Yeah, it's just go to the Senate hearing to talk about car safety. Oh yeah, but look, seriously, like I don't know. It's like the Hudsucker Proxy, that Coen Brothers movie where the CEO jumps out of the building and then they recruit the guy from the mailroom as the perfect schlub. But in this case,
It didn't work.
Luigi
out.
did not invent the hula hoop and save the company. Luigi just went, oh, that was it. He went, Mario, and there was no one in the building. It's just empty for a year. In the end, I have been playing 3DS more than any other console this year, so thanks, Luigi. I still like you.
I saw a kid with a 2DS, the first one I've seen in the wild.
Oh, I've never seen one.
It's like basically a doorstop. That looks
The
like
end
a
of the
video
year of
game
Luigi
console.
movie is
It's awesome.
actually just everyone who is secretly enjoying the 3DS just going up to Luigi and like just handing him like a Luigi hat or handing him their 3DS or like some iconic thing, and then he goes home and cries, no longer ever allowed to be CEO again, but he knows that he like touched the heart of me and that kid with the 2DS that you saw. Those two people. That's all that it takes for Luigi.
He touched the heart of a me.
Yeah, I saw it.
He touched the heart of a me.
When you said that, I saw it as MII.
Oh no, of a me, Jake.
Yes.
He also touched the heart of a me of me.
Yeah, that was what I meant.
Yeah,
Oh.
I knew
And then I
that's what
amended it to add Mario to just ruin it further.
I feel so bad for Luigi.
He's fictional.
He's not real, Jake.
I feel bad for Luigi, the sort of
Cultural construct.
the cultural construct. Yeah,
Mm.
it's just. I mean,
I think he's gonna be okay.
I don't know.
There's no more year of Luigi's though.
Oh, I know.
First and last.
I was hoping that the year of Luigi would be successful enough that we'd get the year of Waluigi,
Oh man,
where you're like,
Waluigi's the only one who can fix this
Waluigi
mess.
is going to be number one, so
he's the number one party star. I
he
think.
is the number one party star.
Well, because if the year of Luigi had been such a crazy success, then that's when they get like the delusions of grandeur. Like, all right, we're gonna just double down on the fucking weirdness.
Isn't the year of Waluigi the only antidote to the year of Luigi?
That's true.
Oh, that's true. He is an upside down Luigi.
There's just gonna be like weird haunted
Yeah.
like woo, organs and harpsichord stuff, and then this lanky weird guy with a tennis racket's gonna come in, and then somehow he just becomes a weird benevolent dictator over all of video gamedom. Like we're all enslaved by Waluigi, but we like it. That's I think what Nintendo would like in general. So
And they could finally make the crazy Waluigi game I want them to make, which is just an insane nightmare dreamscape
I know
of Puppet Master Waluigi.
we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Where Waluigi is somehow a puppet master of like himself or something.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember the actual any of the rest of the conversation. I just remember that the whole game.
Your dream game has been forgotten,
Yes. Well, it has been sadly,
much like
but-
Nintendo's hopes for the year of Luigi. A Waluigi standalone game is what would put Nintendo back on top, for sure. But it would have to come out on Xbox and Steam.
They're working on that Kinect version. They're working on the Kinect Waluigi game.
Right now, Nintendo's
Iwata
like, new,
shit.
the Wii 3 with Kinect.
Wii 3.
Yeah. What? Mario, Luigi, and Waluigi. Year of Waluigi.
May
Nintendo
not
found
contain
a,
Luigi.
Luigi, not available. Yeah. Luigi at the last minute gets replaced with Wario, and he is so sad. Yeah. If Nintendo put out a game that was called Mario and Wario, that might exist already. But if that happened now,
Mario versus Wario.
if they were teaming up, like if Luigi was replaced with Wario,
Oh, man.
Are they
Luigi-
related? Like the
Mario
Mario
and
are the
Wario.
Mario brothers.
I'd
I
always thought
imagine Wario
they're
and
cousins or
Waluigi
something?
are also brothers.
I'd
but
always
are
thought that those
Wario
guys were
and
just in
Mario
like a mirror
cousins?
dimension. Like they're like
Wait,
the
why do you
Bizarro.
think? Why would you think Luigi and Waluigi are brothers?
No, I meant Wario and
And
Waluigi.
Oh, Wario and Waluigi. Okay.
I mean, I presume that they're brothers, but if I was told that they weren't brothers, I would. Oh, okay, sorry.
Let's check Nintendo canon about this. Boop, 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 boop,
maybe
boop.
they're just
No one
brothers and they're
cares.
cousins. Maybe they're cousins of the other ones.
Your internet makes noises.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's old.
It's fast though.
I was actually looking it up on a Wii device when an internet thing loads, and it actually goes boop, 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 and like some little squares and a running Luigi happens.
That's me downloading.
Yeah, I was downloading
Getting those
the
coins.
family tree, and then they weren't on there. So yeah.
They've been disowned by the Marios proper,
Oh, maybe they are like
like a suppressed.
they're like the Sackville
Line.
Bagginses of the Mario family tree, where there's just a tear. What are we talking about?
God, when
A
you said
break.
the Sackville Baggins, I thought you were talking about
It's like
something in history.
Oh
Sacco
no,
and
I'm talking
Vanzetti.
about the Lord of the
I'm talking
Rings.
about Sacco and Vanzetti.
I'm talking about
Hobbiton. Framed for murder.
No.
Good. Yeah, I have to fix my pop screen, but then that's why I want
Oh,
to
it's
fix.
too pooch.
What's that? No, it's too.
Not pooched
It's,
enough?
it's not. It's too. I was looking for a P word that meant saggy. I got nothing. Sagging. More like Bilbo Saggins over here.
Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode of Idle Thumbs.
So if you're not familiar with Squarespace, it is a web page creation site that can make a personal website, an online storefront, a blog, portfolio, just incredibly easily and very, very, very good looking. It'll be optimized for mobile. You can have a custom URL. They'll take care of all that stuff for you. And Squarespace stores, Squarespace sites in general, just look really professional. So if you don't have any web skills, it's a really great place to go and put out your signage on the internet at whatever website you want, .com, .whatever.
Yeah, and if you go to squarespace.com/idlethumbs and then use the offer code thumbs, you'll get 10% off any paid accounts that you create there.
Yeah.
If you want some decent examples of Squarespace stuff, our friend Olly Moss, who works with us at Camposanto, used Squarespace to build his portfolio site, which I think is just at ollymoss.com.
Yeah.
And my friend Jared, who writes all the music for Telltale's games, had been meaning to put a portfolio page up for years. He had like a half-built site, and I said, you should probably just use Squarespace and you'll have it done in like 2 days. And he did. So that JaredEmersonJohnson.com is another really nice-looking example. His is like audio-focused, and Ollie's is really visual-focused, and
And both of them look
both really nice.
excellent.
Yeah.
And creative people you can trust because we've worked with them.
Because
you guys
they're
know
cool
that they're
guys.
awesome. So yeah, you can go to squarespace.com/idle thumbs and then use the promo code thumbs at checkout.
Yep.
You'll get a free month and 10% off, and your website or storefront or blog or portfolio will look
really nice.
Very, very nice.
Thanks, guys. And by guys, I mean Squarespace.
And the people who are going to go to the website.
I also thank you.
And thank Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie.
And thanks, Jared. Thank you, Jake.
Oh, you're welcome, Sean.
Do you think if if the White House calls you, his number, it shows up as...
It's probably blocked, so I could be screening Obama.
That's always... So did I tell you that? I think I told the story in the podcast about how a friend's dad who is like in the music business, and he's like, he always answers the phone even if it's a blocked number because it could be the Beatles.
I guess if you're the type
That was
of
like
person
how he-
who could be called by the Beatles, that's significant.
Chris, I think you could totally be called by a Beatle.
There's not many of them left.
Paul McCartney could totally
two.
call you.
I mean, it's
And he'd be
technically
like, oh, I'm
true.
sorry, I was trying to reach Nick Brecken. Let's turn Remo up. Turn Remo up on my headphones. Bring that beat back. Turn me up on my headphones. Kill him. Hurt him. And thank you, Hulu Plus, for sponsoring this episode as well. Hulu Plus is an online streaming, you know what Hulu is. TV, movies, lots of them at huluplus.com/thumbs.
Yes.
And you'll get an extra week of your free trial. 2 weeks. It's a week more than the usual
double your
one.
weeks.
Yeah.
And they have a bazillion shows and movies that you can watch. I just got Hulu Plus because I had a cat sitter who said she would do it as long as I had Hulu Plus so she could watch Grey's Anatomy. And I said, okay, I will do that. Yeah. But now I can watch The Daily Show whenever I want, as opposed to having to slog around and getting it.
Like Hulu Plus, it's like Hulu.com is the regular website that has some of this content, but then with Hulu Plus, there's
a lot of backfilled full seasons. You get fewer ads.
And it also can run on things like the Roku and
that's why I can
other
watch
systems. You can stream it on your phone and stuff like that.
I have it on my Roku, and it's great.
Oh, and then the other big get, which we talked about last time Hulu Plus was a sponsor, is the Criterion Collection is available on this website.
God, I always forget that.
So you can watch just full movies, and I believe
you can culture yourself to death.
That's the craziest get with Hulu Plus for me, is that just on a Roku on your HD TV, you can just stream the Criterion Collection.
One of the things that they have on Hulu Plus is just huge backlogs and current seasons of network TV shows, and the Hulu player is so much better than any TV show or TV network's web player. It's
as far as skipping around in the way that it's
and just actually using it like a actual thing that you'd want to click on. It's just so much better. That's just one of those minor things that I
The way their queue works
for
time. Binge watching a bunch of stuff is also really good and terrible. That was my TV regimen for a long time, was just queuing up every show that I liked on Hulu and then just letting them run one into the next. Whenever I would just go to the site, and whenever new episodes of my shows were up, it would just be there. Anyway, that also. It worked really well.
Cool. HuluPlus.com/thumbs.
Yes, for
double
two,
your free
for
trial.
a 2-free-week trial. Video game. Thanks, Hulu. Thanks, Sean.
And thank you.
Thanks. I feel thanked. And thank you, the readers, for listening to our podcast. We get into my pod stance. See, this just flow.
It's called Podsture.
Look at my Podsture. Nailed.
Good, fire me. I'm on no thumbs.
Chris Ramos, the Cranky Kong of our Donkey Kong podcast family.
That's two. I'm DayZ Kong.
Oh, man, too close actually.
Or Donkey Kong, whatever that girl's name is.
I'm that Croco Chomp guy.
Croco Man.
I'm King Krocman.
Video games.
Thank you, Chris, for coming back into the room, because we're back.
We're back.
Oh, hi guys.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome, Jake. Thanks. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I was on my computer last night and this morning early. I got up early. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
I bought the cat the wrong kind of food. You can do that. Did you know you can do that?
I did not know that.
Okay, so I had friends over, and somebody said, "Oh, this cat is getting really fat," and I was like, "Fuck you! There's the door. That cat's not fat. That cat is perfect, and you know
Someone called your cat fat?
Yeah.
That cat's tiny.
Anyway."
That's probably why it's noticeable when it
then
gets
I went to the store to buy cat food.
It says judgmental fat shamer.
Wow.
You bought the wrong food.
No, so I went to the pet store and I'm looking at all the food and there's just one that I'm going to buy, right? And it's called Taste of the Wild. And it has
You're like, I would like that if I was
a has a fucking mountain lion on it. And it looks like it's painted by
that would make me feel like I was still what my ancestors
It looks like a Remington painting or whatever. It's amazing. And it says made with real sockeye salmon and whatever, guts. And I'm like, yes, fucking A, I want this. And then next to it is Science Diet, hairball control. And next to that is Science Diet, because I'm like, oh, hairball control, that'd probably be pretty good.
Wait, did you just go through a bunch of surrogate pride and then shame for your cat?
Oh, not that.
No, I should really
get her the hairball control, because I know she's been shedding a lot lately. And then next to the hairball, this is like
being at the car delership and seeing
it's also
the fucking Dodge Viper next to the fucking Dodge shitbox.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that,
but it's got great economy.
It's also worth noting that what was I gonna say? She was really hungry. She had her food ran out and she hadn't eaten all day. So I see Taste of the Wild. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get her that one. And then next to it is hairball control. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should get her that. That's the responsible buy.
What's
and then next to that is hairball control light. No.
So you got that.
In the aftermath, I've been wondering...
You're the mom buying your kid ice milk instead of ice cream now.
I know. I bought her rice cakes. And then for the past 2 days, I've been wondering why she won't eat. She hasn't eaten for 2 days.
That's because she's like, you literally gave me cardboard packed in the shape of food.
She smells
but
it and just
has
looks at
less
me and
nutrients
just
than
meows.
cardboard. Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Wait, was she what?
She just looks at me and meows. She's just like, meh. So I fed her half a can of tuna this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Now
she
she's
loved
pooping
it.
everywhere.
No, but then I went and got her real food, and she seemed to like that. So we're all back to normal. Everything's
All right.
good. Not real food, but like just like whatever, like chicken
Like a
flavored,
steak.
whatever. Just
Yeah.
But I got up early because I fell asleep watching The Americans, and which is fucking awesome.
Oh, I love that
God,
show.
that fucking show is so good. I fell asleep watching The Americans, but she was sitting right next to my laptop, which was in my bed. And I woke
Wait,
up.
you said you fell asleep watching The Americans?
Yeah.
The most recent episode of The Americans, I've tried to watch twice, and I fell asleep at the end both times. Not because it's boring or anything.
It's just like a weird.
just
I think it's
both
the music.
at the same time. That I like.
Yeah.
We gotta save this for our spin-off TV podcast.
Sorry,
That's
yeah,
true.
okay, go ahead.
But I fell asleep, and she was sitting right next to the laptop, which was right next to my face. And then I woke up at 6 a.m, and she hadn't moved. And she just goes, tap, 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 and hits me in the face. And I'm like, fuck, I'll buy you good food this morning. I promise. Let's eat some tuna first. So I started some tuna. And then I went to my computer, and I looked at the Steam list. And again, number 1 was DayZ. So I'm like, oh, there must have been an update. So I started playing DayZ again. And the thing I was going to talk about is it's weird to play. Like I played like, I don't know, over 100 hours of DayZ, whatever, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And it felt like I was really, really deep into that game. Like knew everything where everything was, know how to get around, knew every little system, every little weird bug and foible. But now a lot of those bugs and foibles are patched, but there's new bugs and foibles, and there's just new systems. So it's weird to be like,
crazy.
I know how this works. Oh, wait, I'm wet now?
Yeah.
I'm cold? Am I dying? Am I good? Am I fine? Like, the way they use, like, melee weapons is now different. You have to equip and then sort of, like move them into an attack, a prone position, which is really great for visually communicating with people that you're going to hurt them.
Yeah.
But, like, I got killed by my first zombie because I was like, oh, I guess my keybinds don't work anymore. But I didn't realize I had to, like, put my
you had to
axe
prime
and
your
prime
axe.
it.
Yeah.
So it's funny, you don't really think about that with an
Your
alpha-funded
axe.
game because none of that stuff is communicated in any sort of UI layer. I'm sure that stuff is in the patch notes, but that's not something that, like, a consumer should be expected to go read. Like, that stuff is
But it's
interesting.
also just, it's an alpha, though, also, so you have to sort of just roll
But it's an
with
alpha, so you have to roll with it. But, like, it's like it's like returning to a city that you used to live in, but like 15 years later, and you're like, that used to be a park? I thought.
Right. Yeah.
Am I even in the? Wait, maybe this is the wrong neighborhood.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
because the
Second
game's
guess-
starting to look.
That's how I felt when I played FTL again, and I'm like,
Yeah.
charge weapon. Do I just forget how this works? Is this new? What is this exactly? Laser. Is that like a beam? Like I had that. I just constantly because all that stuff is like seeded in. It's not like an expansion pack and like
Right.
here's the new thing. It's just like part of the game now.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
And it makes you realize when you're out of touch of the community, like Nick Herman and I and a bunch of like that dude Tex who killed me the first time I played, all sort of started just rolling around together, and some of the guys on the podcast. And when you don't have that community anymore, that's like, oh, you jump on and then you see that somebody's on a server and then
Yeah.
like you get on TeamSpeak with them and they're like, oh yeah, so like in the patch this new thing is different, so watch out for that. And also, oh, if you go here, there's this thing. The game also the colors are more rich and starting to look. The game just looks different. They cut like a really cinematic trailer for it, which is weird. All with in-game footage. It's now like on. It's just I don't know. It's becoming more and more of a real game.
Yeah.
But it was weird. I started in the rain. It's like you are cold, you are wet, you are wet, you are soaking through. I'm like, what the
This is
fuck?
new. Yeah.
Like, of course I am, but I wasn't before.
Right. I didn't notice before.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it again. And I had just an amazing interaction just right when it started. I thought I was going to die, but a guy just laid his rifle down on the ground and said, you take, and ran away.
Nice.
It was amazing.
That's
Like,
cool.
yeah. It sounded like he was from South America or something. It's awesome.
Then you shot him in the back and took his stuff.
What? I wasn't streaming. What? How do you know that?
The last time that you played DayZ before, when we did the least dangerous game, was
Yeah.
that actually the last time you let it?
I tried to play after that, but it was like too.
The thrill's gone.
Yeah. That
After
like,
the most dangerous game, what's left?
yeah, it was like there's nothing better than hunting Olly Moss. So I couldn't get my thrills any other way. So
Yeah.
I haven't played since then. But I'm gonna go back to it. I'm back in for sure for a little bit. And I was what's so funny is I was gonna queue up Kentucky Route Zero episode 3, but I like knew that I didn't have enough time.
I saw Jake
Yeah.
playing that on Steam.
No, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, maybe that was Sean that I saw playing it
Yeah.
on Steam.
I enough people have mentioned it that I need to get to it, but I got distracted by finally going through The Wolf Among Us, which I then accidentally left running. So now it looks like I've been playing it for 200 hours. Yeah.
I played, this is really out of the blue, but I played all the way through You Have to Win the Game, which is the game by J. Kyle Pittman, who's the brother of David Pittman, who developed Eldritch and is currently making Die Augenwelt. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's that like sort of security, surveillance, hacking themed first-person game that he's working on that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. But his brother, J. Kyle Pittman, made this game called You Have to Win the Game, which is a super-duper stripped-down, like very minimalist, super old-school side-scrolling platformer. Actually, it's not side-scrolling. It's just a side perspective. It is like imitating what platformers were like before scrolling had been introduced to them. So everything is screen by screen. Yeah. I really liked it, like a lot. I really liked it. It's one of the things I like about it is how rigorous it is in its design. It's just left, right, and then down to go through like, you know, semi-transparent blocks, you know, like where you can go down through them, and jump. And that's it. And like all of the controls, like all of your interactions come out of that. That's the entire input with the game, and it's completely sufficient for like a game of shockingly complex level design, which is the thing that was really strong to me about it. It's a world that's all one contiguous world, you know. So like all the rooms are all connected to each other. There's lots of retraversal, so you start to know it really well. Like there's no map or anything that you have access to, so you just start to know the layout of the world by just inhabiting it a lot, and you unlock like maybe 3 upgrades over the course of the game. Like there's double jump, there's like a wall jump thing, and then there's a thing that like enables certain blocks that were once just dotted outlines that are nothing, and then it turns like once you get that for the entire rest of the game, they're now opaque and you can jump on them and stuff. So it unlocks, it's like a gating mechanism that unlocks new places you can go. And the combination of these 3 things, like they're really spread apart. Like they're roughly evenly distributed throughout the total time it'll take you to finish the game. So it means you play a huge, like a lot of time, like a lot of your relative time in the game is spent with just, you know, one state at a time. And then like, okay, I've played a bunch of this game. Now I unlocked this thing. Now I'm going to go through it again a lot. Then I unlock the next thing. I'm going to go through it a lot more. You're not like constantly finding new things. It's like every time you find an upgrade, it recontextualizes basically the entire map. And so it feels very meaningful and significant. And the level design is so good. You're constantly going back through rooms where like before you went through this room and the lower right corner of the screen, you see a little cavern that like has a path out to the right, but like I couldn't get there before because I wasn't able to get in the previous room. I wasn't able to get to this place that now lets me go through like the lower segment of this room. Now I have this upgrade that allows me to do that. And that unlocks this whole other area that like weaves in and out through areas I've been before. Like it's just very, very smartly constructed. Like it's super tight, and it feels like I'm sure he must have had to test it a lot to make sure that stuff didn't break because, you know, it's the kind of thing where you can once you get like wall jump, you can start doing crazy things like jump off a wall and then immediately turn around to like jump past a thing that seemed like it was blocking you to jump vertically. So he must have really had to be super careful in design and testing to make sure that you couldn't just get yourself into a situation where it's like, well, I meant to just basically squeak my way into here, but now I can't get out and I can't kill myself, so I'm just stuck here forever. You know, that's a thing that can happen in games like this theoretically, but it never occurred to me, or never happened in my case. And I just really liked it. And then also visually, I just think it's awesome.
What's the style?
It's like, what is it, EGA? What's the 4-color PC?
CGA is 4-color, I think. CGA is like black, white, purple, and blue. Or there's a couple of variant CGA palettes. But that's like the one that you
it's
you
like that. It's like, so it's modeled after early computer games as opposed to early console games. So it has that very different look. And what's you know, it's like a very different style than what was going on in like 8-bit console graphics at the time.
It's just those games always take advantage of the fact, or do they just? It seems like their look is born out of the fact that they were displayed super crisp on a PC, and it's not. Well, it's not expecting the fudginess of like an NES pixel art game.
Yeah, but what's cool about it is that the game by default, you can turn this off, but I thought it was really awesome, so I always left it on. There's an option that is again on by default. So to me, it was just what the game was when I loaded it up, which is CRT simulation, where it renders the game like framed in just like a beige plastic screen with the curvature, and then like the little kind of hexagonal arrangement of pixel pixels that you
phosphor
recognize.
dots?
Yeah, that you recognize if you grew up playing games on like a CRT monitor up close, which you did if you grew up playing PC games. And it looks so good, and it gives the game.
That's great.
It gives the game such a like distinct visual look that is simultaneously what those games actually looked like, but also not, because you're consciously thinking of that part of it now. Whereas when you played the games that were like that when you were 8, that was just an abstraction layer through which every game you played.
It's funny. When was the last
filtered.
time either of you guys actually looked at a PC game running at like 640 by 480 on a 14-inch CRT? It has been so long since I've seen
years
that.
and years and years and years. Yeah. Also, this was I think 320.
I know, but I mean, even just going back as late as like
I
1999,
can't remember.
2002.
I really can't remember.
Yeah, it's.
But this was really cool because when we were doing that, we weren't thinking about it in those terms.
Looks like.
Exactly. Whereas in this case, like you're constantly thinking about it, and it gives the game a very deliberate art direction. He simulated it really well, even to the point of like the sprite bleeding through to the background in certain cases that are just like taking advantage of the fact that he's using as one of the colors of the sprite, I guess, the background color of the screen. And most of the time it just looks like how the sprite's supposed to look. But then sometimes when the sprite is on top of certain background elements, you get that bleed through effect. You know what I'm talking about? It's a thing that I never see people, you'd never do it in a game deliberately unless you were specifically trying to evoke that era. And you can turn off the CRT simulation and it just looks fine, right? Like it's just like, oh, it's just kind of like a low res pixel. You turn it back on and it's just like, wow, this feels like something so evocative. And what's even crazier, it has then on top of that an option to turn on, I guess, EGA color mode. Wait, what's the one that's one above that? Where it's
EGA
actually
is 16
like,
colors.
Yes, you can turn on EGA mode, and suddenly it's like a 16 color EGA game with, where the character actually, like, there's actual color choices being made, and that blew my mind. It actually recreated the feeling of moving from like a shitty CGA only like graphics display to the first time you see a game
like you get a
in
286
16
or a
colors.
386 and you get
and you're
16
like,
colors?
oh my God, like this is crazy looking. Because I'd spent hours before I loaded the game and I just started playing it. I didn't go into the options menus at all.
Hardly a PC gamer, Chris.
I know, right? And then like hours in, I'm like, oh, I wonder what the options of this game are. Oh, CRT simulation, that's an option? What the hell? Like color mode. And I switched it. And because I'd been so acclimated to this 4-color, like super monochromatic thing, switching into the 16 color mode actually created that effect in my brain. It was amazing.
Does the display bezel change when you switch it to EGA?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, come on!
I know. But you know what's funny is ultimately I turned off the 16 color mode and went back to 4-color because it was just, to me, it felt so much more of a statement. Like it was just the art direction like felt so much more intentional and like clear. And I just like that game a lot. It has a percentage completion thing that is like just strewn throughout the entire game. There are just like little bags of money that you collect. And I think when I beat the game, I had 84% of them. And then it lets you keep playing after you win. And I think I got up to like 92%. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm not going to scrounge this for the last remaining little bits of collectible. But I really enjoyed it. Also, it's free on Steam. You can just go on Steam and get it for free.
It's free?
It's
free.
Crazy. And the reason is because the reason I remembered about this game is because he's making a new version of it called Super You Have to Win the Game. And that's like his next actual game project.
That one hopefully supports 256 colors as well as the previous number of colors.
I mean, presumably. I don't know what he's doing with
Mode
it.
7 graphics.
Yeah. But because of that, he just put the original one up for free up on Steam.
Awesome.
I'm going to look and see if there's a way I can just give him money because I really...
I got a address.
He might have a Humble widget or something. I don't know. But like, it was a it was a very enjoyable way to spend several hours. I played it in 2 sittings. The first sitting
Are you
got me...
supers? Oh, sorry, I didn't want to give it away.
The first sitting got me up to like, I think 75% or so, just all in one. And I probably could have just kept going, but I think I'd actually do something at the time. And then in the second sitting, I just got the final upgrade and finished it up. And I really enjoyed it.
Super good.
It was super good. I'm not going to say it wasn't, because it was.
Sweet.
Yep.
Did you play it with a controller or with a keypad?
I started with a keypad and then I played it with a controller, I think. I think I played it mostly with a controller. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
It just supports
I'll
the
check it out.
Xbox 360 one if it's plugged in when you start the game.
I will play it.
But also the controls are so simple. Oh, wait. Maybe I did use a keyboard. You know what? I think I actually did use a keyboard. But it's one of those games where the inputs are so simple. It's only one input other than the arrows that it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could totally do it either way. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
What do you guys say about calling it for this week and collect a bunch of reader mail for next week?
I say okay, Jake.
What if we do that?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you would like to be possibly part of that reader mail, write us at questions@idlethumbs.net.
You would like to be part of it, so please write us. Only send us your best question.
Or dream.
Only send us your best 4-paragraph email. Don't send us your dream.
What? Don't do that.
Send your dreams to Sean at idlethumbs.net.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye.
No.
Follow us on Twitter. I
I miss you guys.
miss you too, Jake.
No, not you, Chris. The readers.
I miss you, though.
Oh.
Yeah. Think about that.
We're already not.
Think about that when I sit across from you at a desk every day.
This episode was brought to you by Loot Crate, the subscription service for gamers. We can get apparel, collectibles, and all sorts of stuff at lootcrate.com/thumbs with the promo code thumbs, which you can use to get 10% off your first Loot Crate. Lion face.
Wait, what about lemon face, though?
Lemon face comes after lion face.
Lion face. Lemon face.
Lion face. Lemon face.
P is for podcast.
P is for
Lion
podcast.
face.
This episode is brought to you by Lion Face. Oh, fuck me in the fucking face. I don't know how to do this.